I have a confession to make. I've lost 50 pounds, but here's the shocker. I'm still overweight. Are you surprised? Keep watching because I'm about to share exactly how I got here and why I'm more motivated than ever. Yep, these pictures tell part of the story, where I started and how far I've come. And sure, I'm not at my final goal yet, but I'm still celebrating every small milestone along the way. If you're thinking, how did she lose 50 pounds and still can find the motivation to keep going? Well, I'm about to share that with you in this video today. And make sure you stay till the end because the last one changed my life. I'm going to be spilling the tips, the tricks, and the things that I feel like have held me back along this entire journey. And I'm going to tell you everything that I've done and learned along the way. And I'll share how I didn't go crazy losing my mind while trying to lose this weight. I'll also share where I'm headed next because trust me, there is so much more to this journey than just numbers on a scale. Okay, let's get real. I want to take you back to the beginning of my weight loss journey and the moment that changed everything. I remember stepping on the scale and seeing a number that honestly made my heart sink. And this is extremely hard for me to say, but the scale said that I was almost 400 pounds at my biggest, and I was literally shattered inside seeing that number. I never thought that that would be me, I never thought I would be someone that was that big, but I was, and I still am big. At the time, I felt extremely defeated. I wasn't just a little bit overweight. I was at a point in my life where I had two options. I could either continue down the path that I was headed and become a really unhealthy person, or I could make a change and decide that my life was worth more and that I was worth the effort to become better. I'll never forget the day that my doctor gently reminded me that if I did continue on this path that I was on, I was headed straight for things like heart disease, cardiac arrest, heart attack, so many different problems, you name it. That realization hit me hard. I had always just put it off till later. There was always something more busy or more important that I had to take care of. But it seemed to be that later became now. Suddenly, it wasn't just about looking cute in my outfit. It was about being able to maintain my health, being able to hold on to my muscle through the latter years of my life and try to make sure that I can be here for as long as I possibly can for my daughter and my husband, and really being able to enjoy my life with them and not just feel like I'm someone sitting on the sidelines watching it go by. I wanted to be an active member in my child's upbringing. I was stuck between feeling super discouraged and strangely determined. Like, part of me was thinking, oh my gosh, how am I going to do this? How am I going to get back to where I used to be? This is impossible, especially being postpartum and everything that comes along with that. It felt so hard. But then another part of me came in and said, girl, you can do this. Do not play yourself. You have the power to do so much and you're discrediting yourself. Imagine how amazing it will feel to be able to play with your baby at the water park or whatever the situation might bring. I'll be able to fit into the clothes that I actually want. I'm not there yet, but the day that I can fit into the clothes in the normal section of the store will be a day that I celebrate in my heart forever. And I'm really looking forward to that day. I'll probably share it with you guys and make a TikTok. Listen, being overweight literally impacts every part of my life. I love to hike. I love to camp. I love to be outside and be active. And being overweight makes those things extremely difficult and so much harder to do than, with a normal body size. I'm not saying obese people can't, hike and climb mountains, but I am saying that the extra weight does make it harder. It's like carrying a second backpack on your body. At my biggest weight, I would get tired at the smallest tasks. I wouldn't even want to do much. I would just sit at this computer desk where I'm recording right now, and I literally wouldn't move. That is my whole reason for doing the 365 days of moving my body, because for almost 2 years, I would just get up in the morning, come out to the living room, get on the computer, and not move my body for the whole day. And then I would rinse and repeat. I might take a shower, make dinner, whatever. But for the most part, that was my entire existence. I didn't get out. I didn't get much sunlight. I didn't do much during that time in my life. I'm not really sure why, and I could probably look into that a little more, but moving your body is so important. And I have realized that through doing this. And every day I do move my body, it gets a little easier every single day. And I'm actually able to pick my daughter up now and not feel like she is a giant sack of potatoes. She is like light in my arms, and I can just whisk her up, and it's amazing to feel like I'm starting to not struggle anymore, if that makes sense. Doing these things that were like so hard in the beginning are now starting to become a little easier. It feels so good. Sometimes before I started this whole journey of trying to become healthier, literally a lot of tasks were hard for me. I wouldn't even want to go downstairs. I don't live on the ground floor of Earth, so I have to take stairs to get up and down from my house. And I would literally avoid leaving the house just because I wouldn't want to go up and down the stairs. There were clothes that I bought that I really didn't think would ever fit me. And I'm actually wearing one of those shirts right now, so it's possible. But back to the beginning of my journey. Like I said, I would buy clothes and they would just sit in my closet because I didn't feel good in them. I didn't feel good wearing them. There were even times that I would avoid going out with my friends. I was embarrassed that I wouldn't be able to keep up with them or about how I looked or would look in photos. So I just wouldn't go. I would get anxious and have anxiety every time someone wanted to take a picture. I would hide in the back behind everyone just so you could only see my head in the photos because I was too ashamed to show my body. Basically, I was letting my weight hold me back from the happy, vibrant life that I deserve. Eventually, I had this big epiphany where I realized I don't have to stay here and I don't have to feel like this every day. I can do something about how I'm feeling. This is my life, and I get to choose how my story goes. So I grabbed a notebook and I started writing down my goals. First, it was 10 pounds. Then I moved up to 25, then 40, and now 50. I decided in that moment that I was going to be worth the effort, and I knew it was going to be hard. Even though I was scared, I was so excited of the possibilities, and that's exactly how this journey kicked off. In the next part, I'll share exactly how I lost those first few pounds, the workouts that actually work for me and that I still do today, and what actually keeps me motivated. Okay, let's get into it. All right, lovely people, let's dive into the heart of my weight loss journey. I went from feeling stuck and sluggish to 50 pounds lighter and more energized than ever. But like I said before, I've still got a ways to go. So first up, let's talk about food, my favorite topic. But it's also the trickiest part of losing weight. In the past, I used to snack late at night. Hello, 1 a.m. pizza parties. I realized I needed some structure in order to keep my energy balanced and my cravings in check. That's when I discovered intermittent fasting. I had been listening to some podcasts and stumbled upon the concept, so I thought I'd give it a try. I'll stop eating around 6 or 7 p.m., and then I'll usually go to bed as normal and wake up the next day and try to hold off on eating or drinking anything that might have calories until around 11 a.m. That's usually when I will break my fast. Now, that's not every day. Life is about balance. So I usually follow that for about 6 out of the 7 days of the week. And I'm going to be honest, at first it was really hard. In the beginning, when I started doing this intermittent fasting, I would stop eating around 6 p.m. and then I would usually try and wait until about 8 or 9 a.m. And then as time went on, I slowly and steadily pushed it back until now where I'm at 11 a.m. And yeah, in the beginning, it was so hard. All I wanted to do was wake up and eat something or make a coffee with sugar. But I told myself no. And as the weeks went by, my body adapted and it got easier to push the time further and further. Of course, no single method is magic. It's just one tool in a toolkit. During my eating window, I focus on lean protein like chicken, tofu, lentils, beans, anything like that. I eat whole foods, so fruits, vegetables. When I eat carbs, I really try to focus on eating whole grain carbs, things that take a bit longer to break down and digest in my body or can convert to fiber. I swapped out drinking soda for sparkling water, which was definitely a learning experience, but I really enjoy sparkling water now. And I don't have to have all the guilt that pop brings with it. Also, let me know down in the comments below if you call it pop also. And if you don't, what do you call it? And still, after all these changes, guess what? Life still felt delicious. Sure, there were days when I wanted to eat an entire tub of ice cream or maybe a chocolate bar, By the way, the chocolate bars that are in New Zealand are gigantic compared to like your typical Hershey's that you would get in the store. The chocolate bars you get here in New Zealand are 8 times the size, easily 8 times the size of like one of those typical Hershey's. It's a lot of chocolate. I wasn't punishing myself or saying no, I couldn't have anything. I was choosing better options during my eating window. And when I do indulge, I enjoy every bite without guilt. Because life is about balance, and I deserve to have some fun along the way. This journey is not about crash dieting or making myself feel miserable about the food I eat. It's about changing my lifestyle and introducing good choices into my life, not taking away the things that bring me joy and happiness, like Snickers. When I started working out, I couldn't even imagine going into like a high intensity fitness class. No way. I felt awkward, embarrassed. I felt like everyone could hear me when I was breathing. I felt like I was being stared at, like my clothes didn't fit right. The entire experience was extremely uncomfortable. So I began to just start walking and take little trips around the neighborhood with my family. Each day I get up and I get ready. I put my AirPods in and I listen to some music, so long as I'm not making a TikTok about, the walk I'm going on. I would play music that would really amp me up and get me excited about this journey. My typical playlist is stuff like rap, R&B, pop, and I am from Detroit and an elder millennial, so I do love a good dubstep song. In the beginning, it was very short. I'm talking 15 minutes max around the block and back home. I just was trying to get outside at that point. It wasn't even about my body so much as just being comfortable with getting outside. And over time, like with most things, 15 minutes turned into 20, turned into 30. And some days me and my daughter will be out for 2 hours at a time, and we'll bring snacks and we'll have a picnic and we'll walk for like an hour to some destination somewhere, set up, have a snack, load up, come home and have a nap. And that's our morning some days. And I'm telling you, those little changes made such a huge difference in my life today. And as I dropped the weight and started to build more stamina, I introduced working out at home into my routine. Think easy YouTube videos that build your endurance, 10-minute morning yoga routine, stuff like that. And recently I've made a bold choice to join a gym. If you think I nailed it on day one, my goodness, you are sweet, but completely wrong. I sounded like an old train trying to go uphill. It was a battle, just huffing and puffing the whole way. Shirt was soaked, but I didn't give up and I didn't care what I looked like because we were all there for the same reason, to be healthy. And the most important thing is that I never gave up, and that's what made me stronger. To this day, there are still exercises that I can't do perfectly, and that's okay. I can't do the perfect push-up. I can't pull myself up still, but I can hang there for a little longer than I could before, and that is a win. Maybe one day I will be able to do a pull-up, but you know what? I celebrate each small win as an improvement. Like the first time I was able to hold a plank without dropping it for 30 seconds. That feeling, I felt like I was on top of the world, and it was so empowering. Fitness and nutrition are so important, but I realize that true health is also everything else that goes on in life. My mind, my heart, my daily habits. Here's what I changed. Numero uno, staying hydrated, drinking that water. Okay, I got this water bottle and I make sure that it's my bestie all day long. Okay? When I drink enough water, I do not have as many cravings as I do when I am dehydrated. It is literally the foundation for a good diet and to push you in the right direction. Drink the water, people. I mean, don't drink the water, drink water. Drink clean water. Drinking water has helped me cut down on my cravings, helped me have better, nicer skin, and has helped boost my mood. It's a win-win. Number two is getting enough sleep in the night. This one is a hard one for me, especially with a baby. And even before having kids, I would stay up all night long, pulling all-nighters on a weekly basis. But now I'm usually in bed by 8:30. I'm naturally an early riser. I wake up at 6 a.m. no matter what. And so I know that if I don't go to bed early, I won't get the sleep because there's no chance of me sleeping in. When I am fully rested and take the time to get the sleep I need, it makes me feel so much better and ready to take on the day that following day. Number three, managing stress. One way I've started to manage my stress is I have been journaling and also using a feelings app to try and understand what situations might be more triggering for me and to try to work through things that I'm feeling or going through. I find that journaling is a great way to work through any stress or things you're trying to figure out in your life. It gets it all out of your body and into the world. You can't hold things in because it's just going to build up over time, and that's not good for anyone. Some other things I do for stress management would be I drink my tea, I go on short walks, I do move my body. I find that moving my body does help a lot when I'm stressed out. It gets all those feelings out of you. And sometimes I'll also try doing meditation. When I do that, I just end up feeling so much better. It's literally like giving my brain a hug. And the last thing I would say would be to try to utilize mindfulness tools in order to change your perspective. Affirmations can feel really silly in the beginning, and they could even be like hard to do. I know that when I started using affirmations that it was really hard for me and I just honestly felt stupid. But over time, as I continued to use them, I began to believe them. And that's how you change your perspective. One small step at a time, just reinforcing the positivity, gratefulness, or, whatever it is you're looking for. I want you to try something. Write down the phrase, I am stronger than I was yesterday, or I deserve good health and happiness. These are the affirmations I use every day, and they have helped me a lot along my journey. And I think that they could help you too. Using these affirmations gave me that extra push I needed, and it reminded me that I am worth the effort. I also like to use habit tracking apps or task management apps. Those definitely help with my ADHD. And every time I hit one of my goals, I get a cute little badge, and that just makes me happy and hits that part of my brain where the dopamine, really loves it. It works for me, and maybe it could work for you too. And speaking of apps, I do like to track my calories with an app called MyFitnessPal. I'll put a picture of it right here. And this app is great. It literally does so many things, tracks my weight. It's easy to use. It's easy to scan my foods or just look them up quickly. I've just really grown fond of this app. And I also use my Apple Watch when I'm working out to count my steps each day. And I do always try to make it to about 10,000 steps. It doesn't always happen, but it's the goal, right? Remember, I am intermittent fasting, so I'm not being extremely critical with my calorie counting in my app. It's more or less just for me to have a general idea of what I've been eating and maybe stick to some things rather than others, depending on maybe how they make me feel or if they sustain my hunger for longer periods of time. It's just so I know what I'm eating, so I don't slip and fall back into those old eating habits. Combining those gradual nutrition changes, a gradually intensifying workout routine, and simple lifestyle tweaks was the magic recipe for me. And that's how I found myself 50 pounds lighter and so much more alive. I'm still on this journey and I still have a long ways to go, but I'm stronger, happier, and more motivated than ever before. Remember, every small step forward counts. If you're just starting or you've been at this for a while, we're in this together. So at this part of my journey, I've lost 50 pounds and it wasn't all easy. It was a lot of hard work and dedication. And some of the times when I would get on the scale, the number wouldn't budge, or at a few points, it actually was more than the previous time I weighed myself. So how did I overcome these plateaus and push through to get where I am today? Plateaus happen, no matter how hard you're trying. There will be times when your body is just like, hey, let's chill out for a bit. And that's totally normal, especially when you have a bigger goal in mind, like I do. There's gonna be a lot of setbacks on the road to my success. When I don't see any weight loss on the scale, it can be really demotivating. And believe me, I've probably thrown myself a pity party or two with cupcakes I probably shouldn't have had. But each time I plateau, I remind myself that this isn't the end. Plateaus are just my body's way of saying, hey, I need a little break to adjust. So instead of giving up, I switch things up. Okay, so some of the things I do when I am in a plateau is I change up my routine. If I have been walking or doing yoga in my house, I would go swimming. My husband and I would go to the pool with our daughter and he would watch her while I did laps for 20 or 25 minutes. That's something that I feel really helps me. And I mean, I dream to have a body like Michael Phelps one day. Oh, I can dream. But yeah, I think swimming is a really great way to work out, and it's low impact on your joints, which is always a positive, especially when you're a bigger size. Another thing I've also tried is Zumba classes, and that has definitely been a journey for sure. And I love the music and how I feel, and I'm starting to actually have a group of friends, and that's amazing because we all kind of depend on each other to show up. I mean, I probably show up once a month, but it's still nice to see the same people when you go there. It builds a community. Another thing I would do is that I tweak my food choices. So I think about what I had that week before, and maybe I did have a couple of cookies. Okay, noted. This week, we'll try to cut out the sugar a little more. And sometimes things can feel really repetitive. I eat a lot of chicken and a lot of eggs. And when things do get boring or anything like that, I will use the internet and come up with or try to find new and exciting ways to make food, because eating is such a fundamental part of being human. And it's beautiful to try new ways of cooking. It's one of my passions for sure. I love cooking, so trying new meals is a great way to also grow your neuroplasticity because you're trying something new. I just focus on myself, give myself some compassion. Might even try and give some extra focus on my self-care that week. Maybe take a little extra time for myself to journal, take 5 extra minutes in the shower, whatever it is, just be nice to myself because, well, I have to spend all of my time with me, so I deserve to have some compassion. And you do too. I want you guys to know something super important. Progress is not a straight line. And that's okay. And totally normal. Let that sink in, okay? It's totally normal to have little hiccups and bumps and setbacks along the way. If anything, that means you're doing something right. When we're in these moments, they give us the opportunity to grow and create new learning strategies and really give us the opportunity to learn our bodies, which I don't think enough people do in today's day and age. I think we're so out of our bodies so much of the time. I think that's something that needs to become more mainstream again. So if you're stuck in a plateau or feel like your journey isn't going anywhere, don't fret. Please remember that you're not alone. I've been there myself. It doesn't mean that you're failing. That just means that it's a new and exciting challenge ready to be conquered. And guess what? You will. I have total faith that you can do anything you put your mind to. Ask anyone in my life. I've been saying those words for well over a decade because every single step, even the small, tiny little baby ones, get you one step closer to your goals than you were yesterday. I'm still on this journey along with you, and I fully intend to keep fighting. Keep dancing, keep meal prepping, and keep growing. We've got this. Just think of it as your body's adorable way of asking for a little more time to adjust to how amazing you're becoming. Okay, besties, this is the part of the video I have literally been so excited to share with you guys. Now it's time to show you how far I've actually come and what I've done. These two photos right here are honestly different chapters of my life. The one on the left is me when I first started this journey, at the biggest I had ever been. I remember feeling super nervous and really scared to put myself out there. That moment where I decided to start this journey is what catapulted and snowballed all of these actions into this podcast that you're watching right now. I remember feeling nervous and scared, but also extremely determined and ready to fight this new challenge and overcome it. And then there on the right is me now, 50 pounds lighter. I can't help but do a cute little happy dance inside whenever I see it. I really didn't think I'd be here at this point, and I'm so grateful that I am. When I look at these pictures side by side, I see so much more than just weight loss. I see more confidence, more smiles, and more energy to chase my dreams and also to chase my baby around the house. I feel like I'm finally getting to show up in the world as the me I've always been on the inside. It's not just about the numbers. It's about feeling light in my mind, body, and spirit. And that's worth every drop of sweat, every healthy meal, and every early morning workout. Right now, my energy levels are through the roof. I wake up feeling excited instead of sluggish. I can do little things now, like climb the stairs without huffing and puffing, or walking with my friends for hours without feeling like I need an emergency snack break, which I have done so many times before. Let's be real, I'm still human and I still love my treats. True statement. True statement. But everything is about balance, right? I want to be super honest with you, and if you're watching this video, you can probably see I'm still considered overweight for my height, and I'm not done yet, and that's okay. It's not about perfection. It's about progress. It's about loving myself at each stage of life and giving my body the chance to catch up with all these changes. If you're on a journey too, and you're wondering, will I ever get there? Trust me, there's room here for all of us. Just keep going, step by step. So, about what's next. I still want to lose at least another 50 pounds, and maybe then some, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. I also want to focus on getting stronger because the next time I do a push-up, I want to look good doing it. My plan is to integrate more resistance training into my workouts and keep working on my nutrition. I'm planning to do a mix of at-home and gym session workouts. It's the best of both kind of worlds, right? And of course, I'll still be doing my daily walks with my family. If you're thinking about starting or continuing your journey, just know that you are capable. Believe me, if I can do it, anyone can. Progress might feel slow at times, but each tiny step is worth it. Picture your future self cheering you on and do it for them. Do it for the person you want to become. 50 pounds down, still on this journey, but feeling so much happier and lighter in the process. By sharing my story, I'm hoping that you realize change is possible for you too. Because if I can change my life, I know you can. I know you can. Keep your eyes on the next goal. Take breaks to dance in your living room in celebration. Keep your eyes on the next goal. Enjoy the small moments in your life and never forget that you are incredible exactly the way you are today. I'm old. I do my hearts like this. I think new kids do it like this or something. So, what are the key takeaways I want you to, take away from this video? Consistency is key. It's better to give 80% of your effort for a consistent amount of time than give 100% for a week, you're way more likely to burn out doing that anyway. The small little changes you can make, like drinking water, getting outside, moving your body, those are the things that are going to make the biggest impact in your life. Just remember, consistency over perfection. Celebrate your small wins. Please celebrate the small things you do. This one makes my heart so happy. I'm learning to celebrate every single small little victory and be grateful for them. Whether it's fitting into a shirt I never thought I would, or just having more energy to play with my daughter, or just feeling more confident each day. When you take a moment to say, wow, I did that, you're training your brain to fall in love with healthy habits. So maybe treat yourself to a new workout top, take a cute progress pic, or journal about how far you've come. Whatever it is, you totally deserve it. The next thing I want you to take away from this video is that you need to find your support system. We all need a hype squad, am I right? I used to think I had to do everything on my own, but having a support system, whether that's friends, family, an online community, it makes all of the difference. Not feeling alone is so important to anyone's success. Whether it's a bestie who will text you motivational quotes, a family member who will go on those walks with you, or even a virtual friend online that you've never met that you both check in on each other and, hold each other accountable to your goals. Whatever it is, just knowing that someone is there and has your back is so uplifting. Trust me, you will feel so much more unstoppable if you have some cheerleaders in your corner. Honestly, sometimes when I wake up and I see your guys' comments on my shorts and my videos, it makes me feel great and it makes me feel like I'm doing the right thing. I'm just so grateful for that. And each and every one of you that's here. At the time of recording this, we are at 136 subscribers. So we're getting really close to our goal of 250. And I am just beyond shocked. And I'm excited to go over my well-being check-in this Friday live on YouTube. We're going to go over where I'm at on my well-being journey and just kind of check in on all the pillars of health and well-being and talk about it with you guys. The next thing I need you to remember, you need to love your body in every phase of your life. Your body is the one thing that carries you through this entire experience that we have. You should give your body a little more love. It does literally everything for us. And one of the biggest lessons I've learned is that you can't hate yourself into a happier, healthier life. It's never gonna work. Even though I'm still overweight, I've still come so far. And I've learned to appreciate my body for carrying me through each and every day, for giving me my daughter. That's a miracle. I still can't believe I created a whole person. That's just amazing. And my body deserves compassion and gratitude for that. So please just remember to give yourself some grace and some compassion while you're on your way to meeting your goal. It's not about punishing yourself. It's about celebrating what your body can do and then helping it to do a little more. And finally, the last thing I want you to take away from this video is that results take time. And be patient with yourself. I honestly can't tell you how many times I've wanted to give up during this journey, but I just keep reminding myself that it is about consistency and to give myself grace, because over time there will be a change, which I am now beginning to see. If you stick to your healthy habit and stay kind to yourself, you will see progress in time. Slowly but surely, you'll start feeling the energy shift. You'll notice your clothes fitting differently. And most importantly, you'll build more strength and confidence from the inside out. So those are my 5 biggest takeaways from this video. And why don't you let me know which one speaks to you most down in the comments below. That way we can cheer each other on. Before we wrap up, I just want to thank you all for sticking with me through this entire episode. Your support literally means the world to me. I literally get butterflies every time I see you guys leave a sweet comment or share your own story. If you haven't already yet, hit that subscribe button and make sure to turn on notifications because, babe, I'm not done yet. I've got weight to lose, muscle to gain, and a whole lot of self-love to rebuild. So stay tuned and watch me break my next milestone. If you have any questions, put them down in the comments below. I love hearing from you guys and hearing what's worked for you, even if it hasn't worked for me. If you're feeling exhausted and burnt out and don't know what to do, check out this video right here. I'll see you guys over there. Bye.